We talked about the slippery slope that could come from the Hobby Lobby Supreme Court decision. We talked about, well, we already see that the narrow ruling, we talked yesterday or the day before, the narrow ruling, which was initially meant to apply only to 4 types of contraception, has already been expanded to apply to 20 types of contraception. And now, you're not going to believe this, or maybe you will because it was kind of predictable, Guantanamo Bay detainees are invoking the Hobby Lobby decision, arguing that if corporations are allowed to have religious rights, so should they as detainees. Lewis, are you surprised that this quickly the Hobby Lobby decision is being used in ways that Hobby Lobby probably wouldn't want?
Not surprised. Not at all. No, this is a huge ruling. It has media coverage everywhere. People are talking about it everywhere. It's all over social media. So I think this is just a perfect opportunity.
And what's going on is that the detainees at Guantanamo Bay, who, remember, are very often held without ever being charged, often released without ever being charged, they have long complained about lack of religious freedom when it comes to having Qurans, when it comes to prayer time, etc. We have stories of, in 2005, detainees saying that guards flushed a Quran down the toilet. It was later denied, but of course the mishandling of the situation was admitted. Who knows what the truth actually was? So the argument that lawyers for GITMO detainees are making is that according to this Hobby Lobby decision, there is absolutely no reason that these detainees, in spite of not being citizens, should be allowed to have the same religious freedoms that corporations have. If corporations, which by the way, aren't people, are allowed religious freedom, detainees should also be allowed that religious freedom. And quite frankly, Lewis, how can you argue for one and against the other?
Right. It seems to make sense. I mean, if you would assume that if we're detaining them without even charging them of anything for years, we could at least afford them a Quran or some type of religious freedom or liberty.
It's not yet clear whether the judges involved in these cases are going to be swayed by the invocation of the Hobby Lobby ruling, but the fact that within days of this ruling, we have an expansion from 4 to 20 types of contraception, and Guantanamo Bay detainees citing the case is clear evidence that this is a disastrous decision. This is a decision that may well have, we didn't want to jump up on the slippery slope bandwagon, but we're already seeing this decision being expanded and used in ways that it probably was not meant to be used. And I don't want to say that it's blown up in the faces of those who cheered the decision, but we're only a week or two in, right? Who knows what the implications will be in the next 6 to 12 months or several years here?
Right. I mean, I would assume that this is the start of a very, very slippery slope. But of course, it's rooted in this whole corporate personhood problem. So that's, that we continue to have issues with.
Let's take a break. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/David Pakman Show. Patriot Mail today. Great interview today. Glad you're with us.